Hey guys, what's going on? Danny with Garmin Print to Ink again. Real quick, before we get into this, I'd really just like to take a second and acknowledge everybody's kind words over the last couple months. We always like to hear that, so thank you. But yeah, I tend to get a lot of questions just regarding the Pro-Peel paper and just the whole marrying process. So I'd like to just take a minute and just kind of walk through a couple things and hopefully clear up some confusion that you might be having. So I usually like to start with my heat press, because while this is heating up, you can always jump over to the ProRip software and just kind of get your settings going and get your prints ready while this is heating up. And then usually, you know, everything will kind of come together at the same time. It's just a good workflow. So jumping over here, I like to have my temperature set to around 310 degrees Fahrenheit. And my pressure I like to keep pretty high. I mean, this is the Fusion Hotronics press. We have an LED screen here displaying the exact bars of pressure. So I usually like to keep it at around 7 or 8, but if you don't have an LED screen, that's totally fine. You're gonna wanna just, you're probably gonna have to take a little bit more time just kind of testing out, just testing everything out and just getting yourself situated with that. But ideally you wanna have your pressure at like a medium to high level. So, again, just kind of take some trials and just test some things out and just give yourself that time. Once you have those settings dialed in and you're comfortable, it's all gonna kind of come together really easily after that. So moving on, I mean, I have this set to around 120 seconds right now. I like to push it to that full 120 seconds just to ensure that I'm getting just a full press and all my toners are gonna come out, everything is gonna adhere to my shirt, and that's pretty much where you wanna be at. Real quick guys, before we jump over to the ProRip over there, one thing I kind of want to just take a note of, you see how I have the heat press closed on the bottom platen here? I'm consciously doing that. I'm heating up this bottom platen. That's going to help out with your marrying process later on. So we're going to circle back to this, but just kind of take note of that, all right? So jumping over to our ProRip over here. All right guys, now that we're nice and situated by our ProRip software, I'm just going to take a second and just walk you through a couple of things that you're going to want to make sure you have dialed in before we move forward, all right? So real quick, this is our print queue. This is pretty much the line that all your prints are waiting for when they're ready to print. So as they reach the top, that's gonna be the next job that's gonna be printed. So right now, I have this test print that's actually embedded in the ProRip software. So this is our preview window. That's where you can kind of see the job. As you can see, it's mirrored. That's because we're in our overprint queue. I'm working on the 600 printer right now. So the 600 printer offers 3 queues. It offers the CMYK queue, the overprint queue, and the underprint queue. So right now we're doing the marrying of the sheets. So we're gonna be doing the overprint queue, all right? So real quick, while I have that selected, I'm gonna jump over to my queue tab down here. This is where you're gonna be dialing in most of your settings. So this is where you're gonna focus a lot of your time in. You're gonna wanna make sure right here, this is our paper type. I have it set to Uninet 2-step select right now. That actually is the setting that you're gonna wanna be on when you're using Pro-Peel paper. So just kind of something you might wanna write that down, just kind of something to remember there. So, and it's really important that you have that situated. And it's also, if you jump over to your job tab, you'll notice that same selection, you wanna make sure those reflect each other, both on the job tab and on the queue tab. And the same goes for your queue settings and your page settings. You'll notice that they're identical. It's just really important that you make sure that everything is correlating with each other and everything is just in agreement. So we're pretty much just telling the printer exactly what kind of paper it's feeding in, so there's no surprises, and we can get a solid print. So right now I'm set to A4 paper because I'm printing on the smaller Pro-Peel paper, and I have all my weight and the tray I'm printing from, all these things. I mean, just based on whatever printer you're using and whatever paper you're using, it's just important to kind of have those all dialed in, okay? The most important thing here though, I'm gonna jump over to my job tab right here. You'll notice this color adjust button right here. I'm gonna click into this. All right, the main thing here that you're gonna wanna focus your time on, your attention, this coverage percentage right here. What this is referring to is actually the amount of overprint that we're going to be getting. So as you can see, this is a mirrored image. Everywhere where there's toner on this image, there's going to be a layer of white printed over it. When we flip this image, this printed A sheet, onto our shirt, this overprint that we're talking about right now is actually going to be underneath your design. So it's going to be acting as an underbase. So all your colors can show properly on your shirt, whatever color shirt you're printing on. So with the Pro-Peel paper, This coverage percentage, again, right here, it's set to 250 right now. I'm actually gonna bump it up to 300. If you're using the Pro Peel paper, 300 is just a really comfortable place to be. Again, we're just bumping up those values just to kind of reassure ourselves that we're gonna have a solid underbase for all of our colors, okay? And that's pretty much it. I mean, your saturation, you can also, you can play with this a little bit. Brightness, these are all standard settings. Just, it's up to you to kind of optimize your print, whatever you feel is comfortable, whatever works best for you and whatever job you're printing. We're gonna go ahead and click OK. All right, next, after you have all those settings dialed in and you're happy with everything, we're ready to print. So first of all, just make sure you have your A sheet here. Right now we're using an A4 sized A sheet. Make sure, based on whatever printer you have and whatever tray you're using, that the paper is loaded in correctly with the right side. We're going to be printing, this is the 600 and we're printing from the multi-purpose tray, so we're going to actually have the print side, which is the cloudy side, face up. So I have this all locked in here. Now I'm ready to click print. There's a little icon right up here with a little rainbow design on the printer. You're going to either click that or you can right click your job in the queue and click print there as well. And now we wait for it to come out. All right, guys. So now that we have our A sheet printed out, we're ready to go. So I mean, real quick, just something I want to point out. If you see this side first, this is your overprint side. So your colors are naturally going to look a little bit muted. This is going to wind up being the underbase on our shirt. When we flip this over, all these colors, all these bright colors, are going to be displayed correctly when they're sitting on this underprint, which is really an overprint. So just something to kind of keep in mind. This is our B sheet, the white sheet here. So often it's kind of hard to tell the sides, which side you're going to be putting against your A sheet here. So the newer models actually come with this line here, just showing you that this is the back. Earlier versions don't really have this, so there's a couple ways to tell. You're welcome to you could do a tiny little tear in the page, and you'll notice that there's one side that rips, and then there's another side that kind of sticks. The sticky side is the polymer side, so that's the side that we're going to want to be putting against our overprint side. Another way you can kind of, if you'd rather not rip your page, you can look really close and you'll notice that one side is super smooth and then one side's got you can even really feel it. I'm feeling it right now. I mean, one side's slightly rougher. So the rough side is you're never going to want to be touching your design. You're always going to want the smoother side to be touching your design. That way all the polymers are removed off the B sheet onto your A sheet here, onto the overprint side of your A sheet, and that's going to help your shirt adhere, and it's also going to help with your marrying process. All right, guys, so now the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's get into the whole marrying process. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to lift this up, I'm going to slide this out, and just to the touch I could tell this is really warm, and that's exactly what we want. So I'm going to pull this out. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my A sheet, glossy side, I'm going to put face down, so my print side, the overprint side, is facing up. I'm going to take my B sheet, this is the back, this is the front again. I'm going to put the front side right over my A sheet here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fold up a tiny little corner right here. We call that a little doggy here. It's just going to help us with the peeling process so we're not fumbling around when we're ready to go. And last but not least, I'm going to take my parchment paper, I'm going to place it right over here. I'm just going to slide this on in. And I'm going to go ahead and press this down. It's real important. So this does take, 120 seconds, 2 minutes. So, feel free to kind of, whatever tasks you need to get done. In the meantime, you can jump over to your pro, but just be conscious of that time. Don't forget about your sheets in here, because it's really important that you tend to these as soon as that time is up. It's going to be a hot peel. So you're going to open this up, take the parchment paper off, and immediately start peeling. That's why I folded that little doggy ear, so I'm not sitting there fumbling. Any seconds where this is open, that means that your sheets are cooling. So besides that, I'm also going to be, the reason why we heated up this bottom platen is because I want to keep my married sheets on there as much as I can, because again, we're using that heat. If you take them off, it's going to start cooling immediately. You're going to have problems with your whole marrying process. So just to avoid all that, it's just a little tip that I like to do. So I see that we're nearing about 10 seconds here. So I'm getting ready. We're just gonna get to it. So I'm just taking this off immediately. Parchment paper fell off. And I'm just kind of pulling towards me as I'm pulling my B sheet away. As you can see, I'm not going either slow or fast. It's kind of just in the middle. Kind of letting it do its thing. Nice and consistent. And here we go. We have a married sheet. When you had both your A and B sheets peeled apart, one thing you can kind of do to check just to make sure the marrying process was successful, just check out your B sheet. If you look really close, you'll see like a kind of like a cutout of where your design would be. That's how you know that everything came off. And you want to make sure that there's no colored spots, nothing coming off your A sheet onto your B sheet. All right, next is the best part. We're gonna be putting this design onto the shirt. So I'm gonna take my A sheet, I'm gonna place this down. Even before I do this, sometimes, if you have a shirt that's got a lot of lint on it or something, sometimes it's worth it to kind of just get a lint brush, take everything off. Some people like to just do one quick little press, just making sure you're ironing out any wrinkles or anything like that. So I'm just gonna, just really quick, just kind of flattening everything out. I'm gonna go ahead, put my A sheet on here. I'm actually gonna use some heat press tape. It's really useful. Honestly, I mean, you're more than welcome to even situate this, on another surface if that's easier for you. 2 pieces of tape is more than fine. This is just kind of securing our placement of the design on the shirt. All right, so now that we have this set up, again, the really cool part about this is that we get to leave our temperature on 310, and the pressure you can keep the same as well. The only thing that's changing here is the time. So we're gonna only keep the shirt in for 30 seconds. All right, so that's really cool for your workflow because you could be marrying sheets and adhering to shirts, and the only thing that you're gonna have to be conscious of is the time. So go ahead, I'm gonna take my parchment or craft paper, whichever you're using. Just put this over here. I'm gonna slide it in carefully. And I'm gonna go ahead and just press. All right, we're ready to go. I'm gonna take this paper off here. All right, now we're ready to take this shirt off, put it on a flat surface nearby, let it cool for a second. Real quick, I mean, this is a really small shirt, so we're simply just gonna take this off, no problem. But if this was a threaded shirt, it's really important to kind of just work the ends first. That way when you're pulling it off, it's not gonna stretch and snap back at you, all right? So just something to kind of be conscious of. All right, next, so like I was saying, we're just gonna have this on a nice flat surface. I usually like to take some sort of textile, like this is just an old t-shirt. I like to kind of just in a circular motion, just kind of work this all. It kind of just reassures you that all your toners are set in your shirt and everything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel my tape off. This is cool with a touch now, so you don't have to wait too long, but you definitely don't want to peel this hot like we did with the marrying process. From one of the corners, I usually like to start. I just kind of work this. So if you can see, I kind of just flip up this corner, keep my palms face down to the shirt, and just kind of work it like it's like a tight roll. And I kind of just let it do its thing, and it's pretty, it's pretty amazing, honestly. As you peel this off, kind of just never really get tired of doing this and seeing my design on the shirt, And there we go. All right, so as you can see, we're all good. We got our design on the shirt, which is exactly what we wanted. I'm gonna do one last step. I'm actually gonna throw this under the press just really quick for about 5 to 10 seconds. It's just gonna reassure us that everything is properly adhered to the shirt, and we're gonna get some more washes out of that. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, now that we're back at our heat press, still warm. I actually still kept my press down on my bottom platen. So I'm gonna just take my craft or parchment paper, put it on top of my shirt again. I'm actually just gonna make sure this is set to, So I'm gonna set this to about 5 seconds, just to kind of reassure ourselves that everything is gonna be good here. Slide her back in. here we go. And this is totally safe to just peel off. And now we have our completed shirt. There we go. Hope this clears it up for you guys. Hope this this all makes sense. If you follow those steps, you should have no issues whatsoever. That being said, if you guys are having any issues about anything, I mean, this goes for anything at all, feel free to just reach out to us. You can give me a call. My name is Danny. My extension is 336 after you give us a call. And that's about it, guys. Good luck with everything. And, you know, be sure to check out our Instagram. Be sure to check out our website for any updates. Facebook, honestly, also check out the White Toner support group on Facebook. That's a really great tool. I'm on there as well every day, just monitoring it. You know, as a support guy, I learn things on there every day. So it's really cool. It's a really cool tool, really cool group to kind of get your hands into. So good luck with everything moving forward, and we'll see you soon.